And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful Corona-free day. Today is Tuesday, July the 20th at 3:25 in the afternoon. How are you doing? So, part 2, agree to disagree. Well, here's the thing. The reason why this is called part 2, agree to disagree, is because I'm actually redoing this video with completely different content on it. And here's the reason why. My last video, it had a lot to do with censorship and just a lot of the crazy things that are going on, especially considering the fact that I used to live in Russia. I went to college there. I studied abroad and whatnot. And there were so many horror stories about people talking about different aspects of their government and how censorship started there. And I started to say so much. There was a point to where after I uploaded it, I actually realized that it could actually be not just potentially controversial, but it could be upsetting and people might disagree with me. And there's nothing wrong with that at face value. But there's a weird thing that's going on now where people cannot disagree with one another, and they call it hate speech, or they report them, even if it's not, and they could get banned or flagged or whatever. And I don't want to deal with that. So if you happen to by chance to have caught the part 1 of what I'm talking about right now, well, lucky you. Okay. I'm not going to re-release it. It'll just, as a matter of fact, I feel like it even has a bigger impact considering that I actually felt like it would be deleted, like it would be flagged or something like that. And I said nothing controversial. I said nothing bad at all about it. Now, I went to Russia just studying abroad, but I served the U.S. military. Yeah, I only went over to Russia just to like study abroad and get the language under control and everything. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was really awesome. And I'm not going to digress too much, but there were so many different parallels of people. I remember telling them about communism and socialism and stuff like that. And then it sort of resonated with me when I heard that Facebook and is now starting to flag more speech and censoring stuff. And like I said, after I uploaded it, I just sort of realized that I don't want to lose my channel. I don't want to lose my Facebook or Instagram or anything else like that. And I shouldn't be. But proactively, I went ahead and deleted it after all, which is crazy to say, but I did. And here I am. So the topic of discussion is this. Typically, I don't get deep into too many things. But it was significant enough. And I feel like it resonates the fact that I actually censored myself, if that makes sense. And here I am talking about the after effect, which is this. I feel like there was a point in time when people used to be able to agree to disagree. And it's a weird thing in a weird day in a weird age where me as a comedian and whatnot, I can say something with an impact of trying to make somebody laugh on stage. I don't want to upset anybody. Or if I say something that's maybe upsetting, I might say something upsetting first because my goal is actually to talk about the other side of a situation, you know, like kind of like misdirection. Like the best way to get into a topic of B is to talk about A first. So hypothetically, if I was going to talk about something that having to do with women, I might trash guys first, and guys might not like it, but then I say something about the women and then it levels out. The point is, that I'm getting at is, at no point am I actually trying to be disrespectful, but on occasion, when you are talking about truthful topics, somebody's feelings, somebody might get upset, somebody might be sensitive, but it doesn't change the fact of what the matter issue at hand. They don't always have to be positive situations. You can have a lot of really funny situations that have truth to it that are not good situations that you can make a very clever, funny, hilarious joke out of. But deep inside that joke, there's the truth of the situation, whatever it has to do. And it could be a potentially bad situation, a good situation. It could be anything. But what happened with being able to just like be a Democrat and have a friend that's a Republican, or be Republican and have a friend that's a Democrat, or like rock music and hate rap, or like rap and hate rock? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter whether it's a political atmosphere or it's sports teams or whatever. People used to just be able to be civil, to have civil discussions and disagree with each other. And they would just enjoy their day. They'd high five, they'd be friends, they'd have a beer, pizza, whatever you're into, you know? But I think it's a really strange thing now, because I'm catching myself, not just on stage, but in my writing, where I tell myself, ooh, don't say that. Ooh, don't say that. Which is not, it's not a way that you like freely think. You know, when you come out with like 100 ideas, there might be 1 or 99 that are absolutely horrible. But in order to find that one gem, that beautiful, great idea, you got to go through a lot of, a lot of bad ones, to say the very least. Very rarely, if ever, and even in science, do you not fail multiple times before you actually succeed in doing something. But that's like many things in life, you know, and they're not necessarily examples of, they're not actually exactly like failures. Okay, so when I'm coming up with a joke and it might hit someone in a different way that's intended, I don't intend for you to be upset. I'm trying to actually make you laugh. So if I don't get the wording right or the timing, or I say something in the wrong way, that's not my goal. But don't judge me as a whole, or anyone for that matter, when that's not the purpose. Like, you know, you ever had those discussions with people when you're just trying to have a regular discussion, and some people are just so easily offended? You know, like you can just be talking about A and they're constantly correcting your speech and stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh, like it is the craziest thing now, you know? And part of my my theory is that if things continue to be very self-censoring, okay, and if people such as myself and others in the world, et cetera, have to abide by these rules, the world will slowly start to turn into a less creative world. And to me, that just sounds boring. It doesn't sound fun, you know? I mean, look at the car designs out right now. The car designs are looking beautiful. They haven't ever looked better than ever before. And there was like a 15, 20-year period where it looked like crap, like boxes. You know what I mean? Like recycle bins with wheels on them, or underneath them, I guess. But yeah, it's just something about free thinking, free creativity, and being able to have self-expression that is one of the most integral elements of just being alive. It's not a citizenship thing. It's a creative thing. You know, if I love to create, and specifically, I love creating, writing and compiling jokes, and jujitsu, definitely, of course. And I have very few things that I'm actually passionate about, but I am creative in those things. So it's a weird situation when I'm trying to, even something as simple as come up with some writing, and I find myself, instead of being able to express something in the easiest way possible, I find now more and more that even the easiest explanation of something to make everybody in a room laugh, I tell myself, well, you know what? I think one of these people, it might really upset because of this whatever I said, and they might say something to me, or try to get me canceled, or I'm not a super famous celebrity or nothing like that, but it doesn't change the fact that any small seed, okay, of insignificance can be blown out of proportion in the worst negative way possible. And very rarely does it blow up in a positive way. I mean, if you just take a look at the news, doesn't matter what country, okay, it seems like bad news is actually more entertaining than good news. Wouldn't that be awesome? You just turn on television, right? Whatever. And the news is talking about new world records that are being made, and some new charity that just got more money, and all these donations were made, and some guy did a triumphant act of heroic actions and saved somebody's life. Or, I mean, that's the kind of news that people should be starting their morning on. But it's a weird thing because there's just psychology behind all the negative, which is so much more. I don't want to say entertaining, but I mean, I'm not even going to say for lack of better words, but it's just so weird, you know. I really, really don't believe that it's going to return back the way it was. Excuse me. And you could just have a civil disagreement with someone and have them not hate you. And you know what? I'm saying this from a very organic external places. I'm not being canceled. I'm not having anybody say anything negative about me. No event has happened or anything like that. But I go into deep, deep thoughts. And when I'm going down these deep thoughts, I come up with like roadblocks and situations to where I'm like, ooh, what if this happened? Ooh, what if that happened? And I work my way around it. That way I can work through it in reality. So I think very, very deeply in my actions and my words and stuff like that. But the things that I used to be able to just observe and know that it's something that's insignificant, but it's not a positive thing in my flow of actions and my flow of speech and thoughts and whatnot. Now I look at it as a much bigger deal because I feel like in this world, in every country, this is not, you know, nationally captured, that you only have to do one thing wrong once to have utter dire circumstances. And it doesn't have to be anything intentional. It could just be completely taken out of context. And then the wrath of the world, is on you. So anyway, this is actually just something that I just wanted to get out. And, if it's a little bit more ambiguous because I deleted the first part, hopefully it even resonates even more because I self-censored myself for something that I arguably did not need to do. But there was more than one part after I uploaded it to where I told myself, maybe this will get me in trouble. And that's the world I live in. And it's just crazy to know that you can have accountability for your actions, you know, and that's always a good thing. But it's not a good thing when you have a difference of opinion on something that just has to do with like a policy or a procedure or something like that. And if your opinion isn't agreed on, then you are subjected to some sort of punishment as a result of it. That was my bigger thought that I had behind what I was saying, not just as I was saying it, but after the fact. But that's the reason why, because I didn't think that I did or said anything, but I self-censored myself because I wasn't really sure. I'm sure about myself, but I'm just not really sure with the rules of today what could or could not be offensive. Now, I'm a big believer that if you're doing what's right, you shouldn't ever have to have any thoughts as far as you doing something wrong. But, you know, my rules are not the rules of the world. And I can still be an aggressive style, very sarcastic, dark humor comedian, amongst other things. But there's also a dance that I have to do. There's a game that I have to play so that I remove that one person in the audience from being offended. And instead of going for 99, I have to go for 100. So maybe that's what my next video will be about. And I'm going to do a double edition. Because this was supposed to be last week's video, which I deleted. I mean, the one from last week was deleted, so this is replacing it. So I'll be doing a second one this week just to keep everything in chronological order and so forth and so on. So anyway, with that being mentioned, this is just something I just want to get out just because I'm literally about to go write and work on more jokes and stuff like that. But I just got in like such deep thought when I was telling myself that yeah, it'll make me a better comedian, but it's also more challenging to say things and not offend one person in a room because it's like I said before, some things that you say that are truthful may upset people. And that may not be the intention. So if a girl is overweight and she says, "Hey, do you think I need to lose a few pounds?" If you tell her, "Yeah, definitely. You're 200 pounds too heavy. You're obese. That's very unhealthy." Well, that might upset her, but it doesn't mean you're not telling a truth. And I'm also not trying to be offensive. You see what I'm saying? So that's the dichotomy of not just the actions, but the words, and then the reactions of people that I want to correctly have while I'm creating and formulating a joke, and communicating in general. So it's getting a lot more complicated, and it will indefinitely change creativity. And there's always stuff out there, but the shape of humor and the context of what can be said is starting to enter a realm to where there actually are topics that should not be off limits, but are. So I'm still trying to figure out what the boundaries are for myself, but until then, I'm just going to keep on saying jokes and doing what I do. So I might actually have some of my comedy. I might actually just put some audio up on it so people can listen to it, just to get a feel for some of the stuff that I have done. But then again, it's from 2 years old, so it'll probably get flagged. It's so weird. I got stuff on YouTube. They were old, really great jokes that might offend somebody, that at that moment everyone's laughing, but 2 years later now it's offensive. So, but anyway, you all have a beautiful day. I really appreciate your time. If you're a continued listener, I know I have a lot more listeners than I do viewers, because YouTube is. I know you can listen to YouTube, but most people watch it. Otherwise you'll just have some headphones on and just listen to the audio. So, with that being mentioned, I hope everybody, if anything, after this, even if it's just one person that made it all the way through, can basically just lighten up. And if it's not you that needs to be lightened up, hopefully those around you will, because it's a really good feeling when you can have a conversation with someone and have a miscommunication and have them not jump all over you, because that's not what you intend in the first place. I feel like if you love somebody, if you know somebody, if you're somebody you care about, or that you may mutually respect, or whatever the case may be, you should be able to say something in a context that you did not mean. Okay. That somebody misinterpreted, which happens constantly. Whether it's like the tone, maybe they said something which was in a certain tone they didn't appreciate, but they were, looking at their phone and they were not really paying attention and it sounded condescending. Or it's just so great when you can be around people and you can just be yourself and you can just freely think, because you don't want to live in a place, in any country, anywhere, where your thoughts are trapped. So when you try to express those thoughts externally by speaking, and you got to dance around your words, you got to be all political about it. It's a weird thing. It shouldn't be like that, but we'll see. It is right now, definitely. So anyway, without further ado, hope you all can agree to disagree, and just continue to listen, because I got some great news and stuff coming out soon. So I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.